Good. Hello, everybody, and welcome in. So over the next hour, we're going to do something a little bit different from the usual product webinar. Most sessions like this will hand you a feature list and kind of hope something sticks. And, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to show you how a modern service desk actually works, told as 5 moves. And behind each move, a real look at the product doing the work. So some quick housekeeping. Guys, this session is being recorded, and everybody registered gets the recording afterwards. I'll make sure I send you a link to a really clean version. We've had some issues in the past where sometimes what you're seeing on screen might come a little blurred, and that's going to happen from time to time in streaming. So when we send you this link, you'll have access to a much cleaner version of this webinar. So stick around, and I'll make sure that you get that. My name is Rob O'Brien. I'm going to be your host today. And with me are 2 people who understand this better than almost anyone. Manish Sharma is our co-founder and CRO. He's going to keep us honest on why any of this matters once it hits a budget and a team. So Manish, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm been part of this team for almost 9 or 10 years. I've been part of this transformation. I've seen this transformation firsthand, from chatbots, which were just bolted on into ticketing solutions and to a place where we are living a very, very different era. So it'll be very interesting to share perspectives and see where the world is going next. So I'm very excited about this webinar.
And Josh O'Brien, he's our head of generative AI, and he's going to take you through the product move by move and show you the real thing. So Josh, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to touch on what Manish said there a little bit. We've been around since 2017. We're not new to this. I joined the organization in 2022. I think we all know what happened at the end of 2022. And that's where generative AI and my job description changed a lot of things. So before I joined the team, I was brought on because I had a lot of expertise in the ITSM world. I was a service desk manager. I know the pain points. And I think as soon as I came on, my job description changed as quickly as the ITSM landscape has. So.
Sure. Well, here's the promise for the hour. You're going to leave knowing exactly how an AI-first service desk works. Like I said, you're going to see it in 5 moves, and you're going to see the product doing each one in front of you. So, Manish, why don't you set the table for us? Why this and why now?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at large enterprises, many of them are asking a question to themselves: what exactly am I paying for? And how come I'm paying more every year, right? So that's a question that a lot of people are asking, and some people are frustrated with the cost increase associated with the larger ITSM products. So that is one trigger, clearly, right? A lot of people are looking at alternatives because of that. The second reason is some of the products can be very slow to change. Businesses are moving very fast nowadays. And if your service delivery is not moving as fast as the speed of business, that can be of concern, right? And therefore, that's another trigger for many organizations to think about a change. And the third trigger really is, technology, right? Although I always say that technology is something that you have to use to achieve your end game. But a lot of people are looking at their products and saying, listen, is my current ITSM the right product for me to go to the next level, right? And that is triggering for many people to kind of look at the solutions elsewhere. There are a lot of options in terms of, how to go about doing this, but, whether you rip and replace everything, there are a lot of things. But the truth is, there are many people who are asking questions about, do I want to live in the status quo or not? Yeah, so these are some of the real numbers that a changed product or a new approach can give you. For example, the entire approach to ITSM is changing, right? So, for example, what if majority of your tickets are not even created? What if, right? What if your after-hour support dramatically reduces? What if you can support a multinational, across the globe, multi-continent solution, with a single solution seamlessly without users to feel any kind of pain at all? What if you're a mid-sized company and you're working with an MSP, but you can actually decide whether you want to completely automate your L1 and L0 kind of activity, therefore not spending the money with MSP. So these are some things that we have done, and these are real outcomes that we have created. So I think if these kind of numbers interest you, then the rest of the webinar you should have a look and see how does one achieve something like this.
Absolutely. And here's the shape of the whole hour so you know exactly where we're going. We get those numbers because, again, we are an AI-first modern service desk making 5 big moves: resolve, assist, automate, learn, and record. Manish, why don't you walk us through each one of these as a high-level overview?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, the entire purpose of an ITSM or service delivery, solution is changing. If you go 5-10 years ago, if you attend a conference back then, people could not talk enough about ITIL, right? ITIL this, ITIL that, how you're going to take a process, put them into ITIL, are you following the processes? And why were they doing that? Because processes were not being followed. So the objective of the ITSM system was to kind of string all these disparate processes and give them a shape and form that gives some level of coherence to the system, right? And the older ITSM systems did an excellent job of that, right? But I think the entire purpose is different right now. Right now, the people who are looking for a solution, they're not looking for that because that goal was already achieved. Now what they're looking for is, hey, how do I get a service desk that reduces the pain of my people, both employees and fulfillers, right? How do I give better life to my fulfillers so that they are not under pressure continuously and behind all the time? How do I do not get an egg on my face when there's a major incident, which will happen, right, time to time? How do I reduce my risk? How do I increase my efficiency? How do I actually cut this lot of noise that I have in the service desk? So that is the objective right now. And how do we achieve that objective? We have a 5-point agenda through which we achieve that objective. We resolve the tickets, a lot of issues, even before they become a ticket. So that's step number 1. We learn about what's going on in the service desk with a lot of tools that make supervisors and managers and even technicians and fulfillers very smart, right? We assist the fulfillers to close the tickets that are indeed coming to them much faster. We give them a lot of power tools to them, right? We automate on a continuous ongoing basis as a never ending activity, so that the landscape of your service desk will keep changing. And of course, we provide a service system of record, right? A beautiful modern system of record that kind of ties it all together, provides the auditability and the guardrails that you need in an enterprise solution. So today we are going to go through some of these points and kind of learn, in this new era where ITSMs are apparently supposed to do something new, how do they do it, and how does it all come together?
Absolutely. So Josh, why don't you go ahead and take us straight into it, to resolving?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to deep dive into each of these 5 acts that we just covered. The first one, like Manish said, is resolve. So most requests never need a human. With our solution, we're going to try to resolve as many issues that come up front. There's multiple ways that we do that. We won't be able to get into all of them on this demo, but we will show a few of them. So here's what we're going to show you. This is an offering that you'll see from a lot of different people. We can answer questions based on your knowledge, right? We do it a little differently. We're always grounded in your knowledge. It's never guessed. If we don't know, we say you don't know. We escalate to a human. We can get you to a live chat with an agent, or we can create a ticket with context. But all of our questions are guaranteed to be grounded in knowledge that you've actually approved and signed off on. We also automate. So the same front door that employees use to get information can actually execute actions on their behalf. Whether it's something that you'll see across the industry with adding someone to a DL or resetting a password, or something more complex like actually taking an action on a computer or a device to automate something. So what we'll show you in this demo is we're going to show you Sidekick, which is live in Teams. Remember, these are all how do we help resolve tickets, issues before they become tickets. Sidekick is our generative AI chatbot. We'll show you that. We're going to show you the glass box view that we offer that's different from anybody in the industry. For every single query someone asks, you can see all of the agents, how they're working together, how they're thinking in a completely traceable, audible manner for every single ticket. And we're going to show you VoiceIQ. VoiceIQ is another front door that we offer for employee support, which is over the phone voice assistant. Again, for knowledge, for automation, if someone needs to reset their password or they simply have a question and Teams isn't available to them, or they would rather pick up the phone and dial something, maybe they're out on the field, on the road, we have that voice solution available too. So I'm going to go ahead and show my screen, and we'll get started with the front door, which is Sidekick, which is our generative AI assistant. I've got some pre-set up questions here just for the sake of speed. We are limited on time. So we're going to go ahead and ask, how do I set up an automatic how do I set up an automatic out-of-office reply in Outlook? And so this question is actually going to be answered from the web. We can search curated websites that you've approved. We don't search the entire web. You're never going to get an answer from Reddit or Twitter. This is going to come from the support.microsoft.com website. This is something that we've curated that you trust. You can see that first, let's search the internal knowledge base. We're always going to search your internal knowledge base first. You're going to see exactly what it's thinking. It analyzed the question, generated some queries, searched the knowledge base. Now it's searching these websites from the web. And in just a moment here, we will get an answer. And how do I set up an automatic reply in Office? You can see the answer. You can see that these are external knowledge. We tag it as, hey, this came from the web. Here's the links. These are clickable. You can actually view the knowledge articles that came with them. So that's the real-time web search there. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong thing. Now we're going to do one that's grounded in knowledge from your organization. So I'm going to say that I'm locked out of ClaimBridge. How do I get back in? And one of the cool, one of the not just cool, but important features for trust that we offer is we're going to show exactly what we're searching for. We're going to show the thinking. We're going to cite the documents. Everything is transparent to the end user. They know exactly what's going on as it's going on. And then you get an answer right from the documentation. You can see that this is from company knowledge. So this is from a document that we've either synced from another system or we've uploaded. So now we're going to get into what we call the glass box approach that we talked about earlier, which is really where we start to separate from other solutions out there. Is if we come to, let's see, which one do I have it open in? Explainability. This is our explainable AI. It's not just where you can see a bunch of technical jargon that may or may not help you, but we're going to show you the exact line of thought that a bot took for every single question that was asked. So you can see the user asked, I'm locked out of ClaimBridge. How do I get back in? These are the queries we searched. So we're always enriching the queries to get the biggest, cast a big net around the knowledge first. And then we'll come down and synthesize those, pick which knowledge based on that big net is actually applicable to the user's question. You can see if the routing agent said, I'm understanding your question. You're asking how to regain access. It's going to route to the knowledge agent. You can see every search result that was returned. And you can click on these and actually go view the document as well, along with their confidence scores. These are some of the automations that we have. So you can see that we're actually considering automations too. So whether the user is asking about a ticket or requesting a business expense, this is a synthesis agent. So this is where we come in and say we're understanding your question, checking the relevant results, assessing whether we need to ask a follow-up question. Our follow-up agent says, nope, everything's good. You've asked a very clear question. And our answer agent starts analyzing the documentation that our knowledge agent has provided to it and just double checking to make sure that the documentation that it received is actually applicable. So, and then obviously here's the response that was returned. Like I said, this is available for every single query that's asked. You can click in and see exactly how our Sidekick came to its response. Like when it searched the web, you can see the web sources. Every single question that's asked comes in here.
That's beautiful. And add, Josh, this is one of the features that our clients love the most, right? Because it does two things. One, it makes it so auditable, right? What the AI is doing. AI is not a black box anymore. It's your friend. You can see how it is thinking, how it's deciding something, and so on and so forth. And second thing, to me, right, to me, person like me, it's very human-like behavior by which like AI is going and deciding, saying, hey, I looked at internal knowledge, didn't find it, you know, looked at these automations, they might have been relevant, then finally decided against it, right? And then went externally or whatever or just created a ticket, whatever the route might be. But it's such a human-like quality to how it is deciding, at the same time being completely auditable, and you can trust it that it was very extensive, right? It's not going to miss a few things and then skip it and just do it. So our clients love this
Hey
about
there,
this.
Chris.
Yep, absolutely. And I think we just got a quick introduction into our next, which is a video. We're going to show you VoiceIQ. This is another Act 1. We're automatically resolving tickets. Rob, take it away with that video.
Hey there, Chris. I'm an AI assistant from Rezolve.ai. How can I help you today?
My laptop is actually not working. It's heating too much.
Thanks for letting me know. I have your email on file as chris.martin@resolve.ai. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Thanks for confirming. Let's gather a bit more detail about the issue. First, what's the priority level for this problem? Low, medium, high, or critical?
Oh, it's super critical.
Got it. The priority is critical. Next, can you tell me when the laptop started overheating?
Oh, it started yesterday. Microsoft Teams got updated to a new version. Ever since, the laptop has been acting a little sluggish. The apps are taking more than usual time to load, and it's just overheating.
Understood. It started yesterday after the Microsoft Teams update, and now the laptop is sluggish and overheating. What troubleshooting steps have you tried so far, if any?
I did try to reboot the laptop, and apart from that, I cleared all the background tasks in Task Manager. Um, Apart from that, I think rest, I just, as I mentioned earlier, rebooted it a couple of times. That's all.
Thanks for that information. So to summarize, your laptop started overheating after a Microsoft Teams update yesterday. It's sluggish, apps are slow to load, and you've tried rebooting and clearing background tasks. The priority is critical. Please wait while I create the request for you. Your ticket number is INC0365. Again, that's INC0365. Resolve.ai will follow up on this issue. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, thank you. That's it.
So that's incredibly powerful right there, what we just saw. Manish, Josh, would you guys like to add on to that?
I mean, the voice component is very important. Like, just imagine we're all on 4th of July vacation recently, right? Off. And the Monday or Tuesday after that, in this case, it was Monday, all organizations know what is going to happen. A bunch of people are going to call who have forgotten their passwords and whatnot, right? And then people are going to wait on the phone call because, they can't, there's just only so many people who can take the phone call, right? So having AI field this critical L0, L1 function where it can receive your call, understand what you're saying, provide you updates, create ticket on your behalf, even do things like password resets and whatnot, right? The usual stuff. Absolutely L0, L1 kind of blocking and handling. That goes a long way to reduce the pressure on the team. So this is one of the levers, as Josh was saying, that can be pulled to kind of, help with the resolve act, the first act.
So, guys, this is where a modern service desk resolves a huge share of those requests before they even become tickets. But you can improve what you can't see. So move 2 is where your team really gets the full picture. It's your dashboard, your analysis that show what's being resolved and where the volume actually sits and where things are still slipping through. That's going to be learned. And to be clear, this isn't the machine teaching itself, although it does. It's your people and your analysis getting clarity. Josh, why don't you show them?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the learn phase. This is how do we see what's going on under the hood? What questions we're not answering? What things we should automate to take some of that lift off our L1 or L2 service desk? And so we're always surfacing these. That way you can make the product better. Whether that's deciding we're going to analyze and say, hey, that we've got these questions that aren't getting answered that should be answered off knowledge. And we're going to automatically draft a knowledge article for you that you can publish, review, and publish into your tenant. Or, man, we're getting an awful lot of password reset requests or VPN requests or anything of that nature that we could really benefit for automating this. And so how do you know those kinds of things other than just kind of a feel, right? We want to give you the tools to move past that feeling and to say, okay, this automation is actually going to give me an ROI, or this knowledge is actually something people are asking. So I'll go ahead and show you a few things. Like I said earlier about the first act, is there's only so much that we can show on this. We'd love to get you into a demo so we can show you all the powerful things and take that one-on-one time to show you. Rob, if you want to go ahead and share my screen, I will show you just a couple of the things that we have. The first thing we're going to get into is our, oops, sorry, we're conserving energy here, is our knowledge gaps. Every question that goes unanswered surfaces into a logged entry. So that way you can come through and say, what are my people asking? And what's not being answered? What are the types of things we need to automate or answer questions on? Every single question that we can't answer, we get negative feedback on, is logged for review. That way we can automatically roll these up into an actionable knowledge article. These are our knowledge gaps. Of course, you have the explainability with the knowledge gaps too, so you can dig in and see exactly what's going on. The next thing is our conversational our conversation dashboard. So we give you a lot of insights into who's asking questions, what they're asking, what the accuracy that it is, CSAT, average conversation. There's so much information in this dashboard that we couldn't possibly cover it all on this call today. So I'll just kind of scroll through it. You can see what queries by topic, what people, whether most of our answers are getting answered by custody knowledge or web knowledge, or whether it's an automation or a ticket routing, what our escalation types are. People directly asking to speak to an agent before trying knowledge is, are we escalating based on no knowledge? All the conversations, all the feedback we got, the reasons people downvoted responses, whether the gaps were from an inaccuracy or an out of scope, or we didn't have any information. Would love, like I said, would love to deep dive into some of these metrics on a demo. So the next thing we're going to show is our conversational dashboard. So not only do we give you an out-of-box set of insights, but you can actually come chat with your dashboards and ask questions that you may have. So that way, I remember when I was a services manager, my boss used to come tap on my shoulder and ask me a question. It would take me hours to generate a report for him. He didn't have hours. He was walking to a meeting in 5 minutes, and I was just supposed to know this stuff. So if I would have had this tool, I would have loved it. So right now I can come to our conversation agent, our conversational dashboard, ask how many tickets are past SLA. We're going to analyze that data in real time, surface an answer, and give that to you. So just a second while this is populating here. So you can see it's giving us a breakdown of how many are breached in progress, how many are in progress. It's going to load the chart and show us that 24. So it's doing multiple analysis here, saying, okay, let me look at the whole landscape of the tickets and figure out the exact answer to the question they're asking. So it's saying in this tenant, we have 20 more tickets that are breached SLA. And then it's going to summarize those findings for us and analyze them. So that's that. It'll give us some new prompts that we can do if we want to drill down into something. It's a conversational experience with your data. That way you can really drill down and learn about what's going on.
That's really magic as far as I'm concerned, right? Like, just imagine you can talk to a data services data to figure out what's going on. That's crazy stuff. That's unheard of. I love this.
So the next thing we're going to get into, Rob, if you could bring up the DeskIQ report, and then Manish, if you kind of want to talk about what DeskIQ is. We're showing a sample report here.
Yeah, so DeskIQ is, your report card of your service desk, right? So you can run this in the beginning of the engagement. You can run it every quarter and so on and so forth. What it tells us where are the problem clusters that you are dealing with and what kind of issues are giving you trouble and where are the automation gaps and where are the knowledge gaps. Very simply put, right? It's telling you, hey, your first automation gap is here. If if you fix this, it's going to remove 8.9% of your issues. Your second automation gap is here, your third automation gap is here, your fourth automation gap here, and so on and so forth. Similarly for knowledge, right? This seems to be a knowledge gap area. That seems to be a knowledge gap area. This you are doing okay, but there's chances of improvement. And how is it doing it? It's analyzing your tickets. It's analyzing your last 2 months, 3 months, 4 months worth of ticket. And it is not just giving you aggregate level thing. It's actually going into drilling down into tickets and telling you, look, for this ticket, this is how you could have automated this, right? This ticket could have been avoided if this was there. And these are some real recommendations, right? If it's saying you can automate it, it will also tell you how you could automate it. So it's a very, very powerful report. And I'll tell you anecdotally how people so one of our clients we did a report for, they knew that access issues are their topmost issues, right? And they had access issues coming, masquerading at different kind of issues, but they were access issues. What they did not know, that 54.8% of the issues are access issues. That they didn't know. They knew that, it might be 20-30% or something like that. Once the data was clear in front of them and the tool is recommending, listen, if you really focus on access issues, you're going to see a dramatic improvement. It changed the game for them, right? Like they were like, okay, let's go spend time here. This is worth spending time and energy on, and saw a quick transformation over the next couple of months into the game. So very powerful stuff.
Yeah, and if you sorry to interrupt, but if you've got I don't know how 10, 15, 25 agents working on things, it can be really hard to kind of aggregate what they're all working on and how often. It's in 25 different people's queues, 25 different people's minds, and it's spread out across a year or two of data. So this is like having a consulting firm come in and say, okay, what are my people spending their time on? What could we automate? What knowledge are they doing? What could really help them move on to higher priority issues, get these low-hanging fruits automated and in the hands of our people? It's an entire consulting firm. That means an exercise like this back in the day would cost you easily 6 figures, right, Manish?
100%. You're talking about, depending on the kind of consultants you're letting you walk in, you're talking about $250,000 for a sizable, and $250,000, maybe even $750K. And all they're going to do is they're going to show the mirror, they're going to consolidate their data, they're going to show them. And this report I've been in those eras reports. This report is much more credible, much more actionable than that. And you get it within a day or so, right? Like actually a few minutes when you run the report. So it's crazy stuff. And this is how you should start. It helps you create business case. It gives you reasoning of what you need to do, when you need to do it, which sequence you need to, what is your game plan, right? Like it really gives you the game plan.
That's right, guys. So I'm sure that some of you out there have questions. Be sure to be dropping those in the chat as we move forward. We are live in the chat and are more than happy to answer any questions that you might have as we move along. So now your team can see everything. They can see the patterns, they can see the wins, and they can see the gaps. But some of those tickets still need a human. The question is, what shape is that ticket in when an agent finally opens one? And that brings us into our third stage, assist. So Josh, why don't you take it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to try to resolve everything for you, as much of the tickets that we can. We're not blind to the fact that tickets are still going to be created. So what we can't resolve, we're going to assist the agents with. So if Rob, you want to share my screen, I will show you exactly how, when a ticket does arrive, the breadth of information and assistance that we're going to give your agents right off the bat. The first part here is just a quick summary. Before you even click into a ticket, you can click and see exactly what the ticket's about. Helps you prioritize, helps you understand before going into a ticket what's going on. This is a smart summary and a quick sentiment as well. So these will change, these colors will change based on the sentiment, whether it's negative, neutral, or positive. Past the quick summary, we provide a lot of information and triaging to that ticket. And we'll get into that's on our ticket intelligence panel over here on the right. So if we click onto this for every single ticket, we're going to generate insights into what's going on. So this ticket is overall healthy based on our AI assist analysis. We're going to tell you right up front, in short, what's broken. The user needs help generating the monthly loss report and policy desk and does not report any system failure or error. How often do they do it monthly? Who's affected? One requester. What's the business impact? what steps we should take for investigation. So we're actually saying that we're going to assign this ticket to this agent for application reporting support. He's a Q eligible service desk subject matter expert. So we're analyzing who should this be assigned to. We're actually saying that we've already reviewed this ticket for its categorization and priority. We've confirmed that the current categorization and priority is appropriate, and we're going to search for open problems in records and policy desk. There were no matching problems or major incidents. We're doing all that triaging up front. This used to be my full-time job, guys. This is what I was in charge of. We're going to give you a likely cause. The user doesn't know the report generation process is our highest guess. We're going to confirm facts. So what's already been confirmed based on this ticket? And do we have enough information to act? This is our ticket intelligence panel. We're going to get into a lot more here too, so bear with me. We're going to analyze the sentiment. Right now, this one came as neutral. They're not angry or mad. They're just reporting a problem. We can see that they don't appear to be frustrated. It doesn't appear to be super urgent, but they are confused. I just don't know how to do it. Nothing specific happens is an actual quote from the ticket. They're not angry. Based on the analysis of the conversation, this one must have came through our chatbot because yes, please create a ticket. They're showing some levels of appreciation. And right now that escalation risk is of a low priority. Next, we're going to get a next best action. So these are what actions should we take next? We're going to score them on confidence. So based on the analysis here, they're asking for step-by-step guidance. There's no error present. We should just clarify the process to them. Some other options here is share policy desk guide, send quick report steps, or the report details. This is our next best actions. The next thing we're going to do is actually guide the agent on how they should respond. We're going to give them a couple different options. So the first option would be an acknowledgement. Thanks for reaching out. We're looking into it for you. At the moment, I only have a request for step-by-step guidance, no error, so I'm checking the available steps. Or we can request a diagnostics or give them a resolution update. All of this is editable, or we can add it directly as a note here. When we add this as a note, they get sent a notification. And then we have Ask Sidekick. So we can ask Sidekick for a summary of the ticket. We can say, what should we do next? This is a fully intelligent conversational bot that actually interacts with the ticket, the notes, it cites where it got that information from. You can chat with your ticket. If there's any similar tickets, we'll show it here. For this one, there isn't any, but this could be useful if maybe your agent doesn't know exactly what to do and there's similar tickets that are referencing this particular problem in the past. Then we're going to do troubleshooting. So we're going to help the agent actually troubleshoot this. So for this one, it's pretty easy. We're just going to request the exact policy desk report path and report criteria. We can mark it as it worked or not relevant, and then some alternatives too. Then we have suggested knowledge. So what knowledge do we have based on this particular ticket? Hopefully, in most cases, there won't be any knowledge here. And that's why it became a ticket. Like we said, if there would have been knowledge, this would have been resolved first. So this is within our, there's a lot more we could go into here. We'd love to, like I've been saying, get you on a demo and show you how this works on a deeper level. But maybe you're not in our service desk. Maybe you don't want to use our system of record. We actually bring this power right to ServiceNow too. And we've got a video that we'll show you on that. Rob, can you show that video?
Sure.
Your agents already live in ServiceNow, so that's where Agent Assist goes to work. An AI panel beside every ticket, powered by 2 governed Rezolve agents. The moment a ticket opens, it's already been worked. A summary of the full history. Ticket health across 5 dimensions. Escalation risk, scored with written reasoning. Sentiment, with confidence. And ranked next actions, before your agent reads a word. Need context? Just ask. The Copilot is grounded in the ticket, your SOPs, and how similar tickets were actually resolved. Nobody resolves a solved problem. Agent Assist guides, it never acts on its own. Every action is one human click, and anything sensitive can require approval first. You set the gates, allow, ask, approve, or deny. And everything is glass box. Every insight and every action is logged, and the panel runs under each agent's own ServiceNow permissions. Nothing more. Agent Assist, up and running in days on the ServiceNow you already run. No rip and replace. See it at Rezolve.ai/demo.
So, Manish, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, the simple thing is that if you think about all the tools that you're giving to fulfillers, right? If I'm a fulfiller, and imagine in a day I was solving, I don't know, 7 to 8 tickets a day previously. Why? Because I was doing a whole lot of research. I didn't know the history of the ticket. Sometimes the ticket just assigned to me. I have to go research, talk to the right people first of all, because there's not enough information in it. Figure out who else tried to solve it. Like the bunch of things that I was doing, right? If I was trying to solve the ticket. Now the question is, how many tickets can I solve now, right? And how easy does it become for me? And what is the result of that, right? First of all, maybe I don't have to, stay back till 7 or 8. I don't have to feel like I'm always behind. I will not. One of the biggest problem that happens with people is while there are too many tickets open, what happens is one of the more important tickets somehow is not attended well, right? So the issue is, why didn't you solve this ticket first, right? Because this ticket has really, you're solving the other ticket which is not so important. You should have spent time here. So all those risks and all those pressures that we have created for ourselves, because we just didn't have the right technology, with the touch of a button right now, all those pressures go away, right? So it's a real transformation for the fulfillers who are doing it and the supervisors who are running the show.
It's a big deal. In a modern service desk, every ticket is arriving already worked. You're never just getting a blank screen or a blank ticket. And here's the thing about any ticket that you see 5, 6, 7, 8 times. At this point, you shouldn't be handling them at all. You should be automating them. And that's where we get to stage 4, automate. So Josh, let's move into this.
Sure. This is Act 4. This is the big one. So all the things that we talked about before kind of hinge on this one. What are we learning that we should automate? What are we assisting agents with that we should automate? What's not being resolved? And we've got a lot of different ways to automate things. During this webinar, we'll only be able to touch on a few of them. So let's dive right in. Rob, if you can share my screen. And so we're going to start with Agent Studio here, and how you can generate AI agents to help automate reoccurring requests, or to get a better insight into that, or what information can I provide my agents with upfront that's maybe not built into the product. This is where we can really add our own agents to do anything that you're repetitively doing, from a reporting perspective, from a analysis perspective, from a triaging perspective, or even like from an automation perspective. Right now, we're going to show you, this is our Agent Studio. This is where you can build own agents, your agents that directly interact with your tickets, whether that's in our system of record or ServiceNow, Jira, Freshservice. For this exercise, we're going to create an AI agent that works with Rezolve.ai's ticketing and asset management. So I will show that now. So we're going to click Create with AI. It's absolutely no code. It knows what tools you have available. It plans, it reflects, it searches. There's all kinds of different things that happen here. It'll ask clarifying questions. One of the neat things I like to say is we took the dog food approach with this Agent Studio. So everything that you see our Build with AI doing, it follows the same process that your agents will do. It has access to the same tools, the same planning, thinking, reflecting, goal seeking. So we've asked it to build an agent that analyzes the full ticket content, identifies the best subject matter expert based on a skill or expertise, assigns the ticket to them, updates the category, subcategory, and priority, checks whether the incident matches an existing problem record, automatically links it when it does, consults the CMDB asset inventory to identify the affected devices and record its and its ticket asset fields when a confident match has existed, and a post-explanatory comment justifying all the actions taken. So if you think about everything that we're building here and how powerful that agent is, and that we're just building it with conversation, I think that tells our story pretty well. So we're going to say we want this to run fully autonomously, and should it do purely by skill and relevant workload, or should it factor in other criteria like location, past ticket performance? We're going to do skill expertise here just for simplicity. So we've answered our questions, just doing some more planning. It's revisiting the tools here. And now we're going to draft an agent definition. So based off our description here, the tools we have available, it's planned and created an agent. These are the tools that it has access to. And we'll click, this is going to be its objective and its outcome and its purpose. We'll go ahead and create that agent.
My mind is blown at the speed of this.
Yeah, it's fast. It doesn't take time. We can create an agent for you on a demo. That will work in about I don't know, 3 minutes or less. All of our agents are determined by purpose, objective, and success criteria, as well as the tools that they have. For these ones, it's the Rezolve ticketing and asset management tools. You can see the number of tools available, the ones it's created, the gate on this. So the intelligence lives with the tools. The governability of this, or the how do I make sure that my AI doesn't go rogue and delete a bunch of tickets or create a bunch of tickets, is we provide deterministic gating around every tool call. So if you want something to automatically run, you're confident in that it's not going to do anything crazy, you can give that tool the capability to auto run. If there's something like create a ticket or something destructive or some CRUD operation, you can always get the agent to ask you before it does that. That's deterministic. The AI cannot bypass it. There's also an approval to where you can actually have someone who needs to approve that action. That's how easy it is to build an agent. If you don't want to build your own agent, we've got an entire marketplace of agents available. They come across 12 different categories, like incident and major incident management, change and cab, procurement, vendor and warranty, SLA and operations. It's as easy as clicking clone on an agent, and then that agent is available for you to test across your instance. There's multiple different ways to deploy these. You've got to publish it first, so I'll publish it there. You can enable API access. You can interact with it via MCP or A to A. You can embed this somewhere like in ServiceNow. You can make it available via Microsoft Teams, either in a channel or through a chat interface, and Slack as well. There's also triggers where you can run this on a schedule or via a webhook, for example, like if a ticket's created, then run this. If it's created, if a high priorities ticket's created, run this agent. That's how you would do that. And then everything is fully auditable. So if you're using one of our out-of-the-box MCP offerings, or even if you're importing your own, we give you a full view into how those tools are being used in an analytic state. So let me refresh that there. So for this one, Rezolve ticketing, it's got 17 active tools, 717 total calls, an 85% success rate, and the average latency, and a real nice dashboard view. You can actually come in and see exactly when it was called, what inputs were provided, what outputs that resulted in. That's as the entire tool. So if you have like a Jira tool that you want to add, or some out-of-the-box MCP that you want to add, you get real visibility into that. Then you can actually see for the individual tool itself, not just as a whole, is you can come in and see its overview. You can set those approvals. So this one is a default gate that's set to ask. You can override that for a particular agent if you want to. So if there's an agent that you needed to run autonomously, but in most instances you would like it to ask, your per agent gates are where you would configure that. It really helps you build a really useful agent landscape. You can see where these were overridden. The description, this is one of the things we found when building agents is if we're using an out-of-the-box MCP server that's available, a lot of times the descriptions didn't fit our use case, and we couldn't get the agent to trigger them when we want them to. So you can actually generate a custom description for each of your tools that help the AI decide better, even if it's an out-of-the-box, or excuse me, even if it's a third-party MCP tool. You can always test it. This gives you the ability to go and test the tools and see what inputs and outputs and things like that. Make sure everything's working. See how everything works so you have a better understanding. Every tool has its own analytics. You can see this one was called 56 times. It's got a 13 times today. It's got 100% success rate. And there's always an audit log. This is real important for enterprise and governability. is we can go to each individual tool. There's an audit of what was called and when, why, all that information is there for you. And so I think I've covered everything. Rob, did I go through the whole agenda for this automate section here?
I do believe. So really anyone can come in here and build a governed agent in plain language, no code, real controls around it. Manish, do you want to elaborate on any of this at all? Just briefly.
Yeah, I want to put this in perspective from service desk manager's perspective or operations, ID operations leader. You always had a huge list of wish list. I wish, I could have done that. I wish I had a tool to figure this out. I wish if we could just trigger this right when this happens. I wish I had this analysis, right? Like you had a huge wish list. All of us had, right? What we didn't have the tools to achieve those wish lists, right? And we didn't have enough budget to hire as many people. Like in the, if you're talking 7 years ago, the only solution was to go and hire more people and more people and more people. And there'll be some people who don't even solve the tickets, but you want them because they can help you figure out things better, right? Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your friends, which are agents. Everyone in the market is talking about agentic AI, agentic AI, agent. This is what Josh showed you is what agentic AI and AI is. You are creating an agentic workforce of agent number 1 and agent number 2 and agent number 3 and agent number 4. And these little agents together are going to take your wish list and kind of tick off all the items on that wish list and give you the outcome that you were looking for and finally let you run the service desk that you always wanted to run, right?
And Rob, before we go to the next section, can you share back to my screen? There's a couple things I want to show. I think we covered that well from a technology perspective, but I want to take a second to talk about it from an outcome perspective too. So if you see this comment was actually created by an agent that we have running in this demo instance every time a ticket's created. And so it's pretty much the same agent that I demoed as creating, but it's actually live and running on this ticketing system. So you can see that this agent that we built in Agent Studio and hooked up to the ticketing system has analyzed for assignment and given specific reasoning on its comments. So this ticket's been assigned to Ayush, who is a service desk agent and supervisor, can provide user support. So it's analyzing who should this be assigned to, the category and priority, and it's actually taking action on the ticket to do things for us. Like, we need to assign this to a particular agent. This should be higher priority. There's actually a problem record associated with this, or this is associated with a certain asset in the asset management. This is a real outcome-based thing that I would show. This is an agent running from that Agent Studio that we built conversationally. Another thing that I would show is the Rezolve Operation Assistant. This is another agent running within our Agent Studio, and it's an agent that allows you deployed within Teams. So you see 2 different modes of deployment there that allows anybody to go chat with your service desk. So are there any, pull up and summarize this ticket for me. Gives you a real detailed summary of the ticket. Are there any open incidents that should relate to each other? Yeah, actually, these are likely related. Should this ticket be related to a problem? Why or why not? Yeah, it should be linked, and here's why. Well, what's the root cause of that problem? Here's the root cause. So this is where, like I said, when your boss comes and taps you on the shoulder and has a question, or you need to explore your service desk and you don't want to comb through and do all this analysis yourself, an agent can do it in seconds. These are all actual outcome-based agents that are running in our Agent Studio. And back to you, Rob.
Absolutely. All of this, every move that you've seen so far, it has got to run on something solid. And a true system of record, that's move 5. And for a lot of you in the room, this is the one that you came to see. So Josh, why don't you bring it home for us?
Sure. So Act 5, the system of record. So underneath the AI, it's a real service desk. We have all the major components of a real service desk, whether that's major incident detection, problem management, change management, service catalog, incidents, all of that's there. We got a really cool video to show you. Manish, before we get into that video, did you want to talk about this at all?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the system of record is not going anywhere. When a lot of AI came, some people even came and said, we'll not need system of record anymore, right? AI can do everything. AI knows everything. That's not true, at least not right now. You do need a very solid system of record. And that's what our product provides. Of course, being who we are never going to do the things exactly the way it has been done so far. So our system of record has a lot of cool things in it, which really changes the game, right? In terms of how how it reduces your risk, how you make more efficient, all those kind of things are there. But it's a pretty solid system of record. That's all I will say, and I'll let Josh expand on that a little bit.
Let's roll the video.
Sure.
5 reports of the same failure, 3 minutes apart. Rezolve clusters them as they arrive and flags it on every ticket. This looks like one outage, not 5 separate issues. Emerging clusters surface on one dashboard with growth trends and an AI recommendation. Your incident commander doesn't dig through tickets. They see the pattern and declare the major incident in one click. The major incident writes itself. Summary, business impact, affected services, severity, with the reasoning attached. And every related incident is linked automatically. A war room opens in Microsoft Teams on its own. Responders, bots, and a channel summary refreshed every 30 minutes. One more click marks the outage as a known issue. From that moment, every employee who opens the assistant sees the outage before they finish typing. Duplicate tickets never get filed. And when it's resolved, the war room transcript and summaries are already captured. Operational knowledge, written down while it happened.
So Manish, why don't you talk about the video that we just saw? What's your insight here?
I mean, it changes the game, isn't it? Like, major incidents are a huge risk business for all of us, right? The moment major incident happen, everyone is under super focus under the lens in terms of how did you handle it, quickly did you capture it, did you take the right steps at the right time, did you understand the pain that people are going through, right? Did you see how often people just keep creating ticket, you did not respond, please improve your communication, right? Did you coordinate with the right vendors? How long did it take you guys to get into a war room to understand it? All these are pain points, right? And after the fact, everyone is an expert, right? And everyone, it comes and tells you how you can do better. So this here is one way that our system of record is going to reduce your risk. What the system of record is doing is it's saying, no problem, I got you, right? I'll tell you when the major incident is happening. I'll alert you. I'll make sure that we open the war room quickly. I'll make sure that we tell the right people quickly. I'll summarize everything. I'll be there to support you, right? It's a big deal. It's a really big deal and a very different way of looking at things. So, big picture, system of record are also modernizing at a pace that is crazy, right? So one should look at how a modern look of system of record is here.
Josh, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, past major incident management, like I was going back on, we cover all the major components of a full-featured ITSM: problem management, change management. All of this is full, rich, AI augmented and assisted with deeper integrations across AI that I think I've seen in any platform.
That's exactly right. Step back and look at what those 5 moves have in common. Every one of them assumes the intelligence was there from the start, and that's the difference. A traditional desk bolts AI onto the side of what they already had, and this one was built AI first for the Agentic era. From the ground up, this desk isn't using AI, this desk is AI. And everything you saw was just one glimpse of many. There's a longer version of every one of these stories, and that's exactly what we're going to encourage you to come into a working session for. Before we do that, Manish, I want you to we promised, why don't you talk about pricing just a little bit, and we'll move forward.
Yeah, I mean, the pricing, first of all, anyone who's trying to move from a larger products that are there in the market, we have excellent offers for you right now. So, if you come in right now, you're going to get some great pricing. This is the summer transition offer that I was talking about. You're going to get white glove migration support. You're going to get phased augmented first to start. For example, if you say I want to stay with my service desk, the ITSM, not right now, give me a few months. That's not a problem. We'll handle everything that comes. So we will make sure that you move at the pace that you are comfortable with, while getting the benefits of what you need to do very quickly. And of course, We are going to, look at your ticket volumes and look at what environment you look at. And based on that, we are going to give you all that pricing. So there's a summer pricing going on. Overall, in terms of pricing, I mean, I don't go into a whole lot of detail, but you are definitely going to find a huge difference in the pricing from what typically you have been paying so far, right? And that's important, because if you are paying, let's say, $500,000 or $1 million, right, every year for software alone, and I'm not counting all the people you have to hire to manage that software. I'm not counting the speed or the lack thereof that you face in your day-to-day life. So you're going to reduce cost, no questions asked, right? You're going to dramatically reduce cost. You can go to your management and say, here you go. I've saved you just in software cost this thick percentage. I saved you 30%, 50%, 70% cost in your annual just software license cost. And by the way, here is another 40% cost that I'm saving you in the operations, running the operations cost, right? That is the kind of numbers that we are talking about. We're not talking about small numbers. So very happy to get into pricing detail with anyone who wants to learn more, but please know that there's substantial saving to be made here, and there's special going on right now during the summer, and that will offer you.
That's exactly right. So for teams that are seriously weighing a move, we're going to open with that summer transition offer. Again, I promise everybody the replay of this video, that transition offer in much more detail will be included in that email directly following this webinar. It's built to take the risk and the guesswork out of evaluating that switch. And it's available for qualified teams that come out of today interested. And here's the single next step, and it's the only one I'll ask of you. Book a working session with us. Anybody who was a part of this webinar that joins us for a working session, out of gratitude, we're gonna make sure that you get coffee and you come prepared to the meeting, ready, energized, and ready to take this on. That's where we take any one of the 5 moves that you saw and run it against your environment, your tickets, your stack. The CTA for that's going to be right here below me. And again, it's going to be in the email that I send out right after. The link to that's going to be on the screen. And that's the hour. Thank you so much for spending it with us. And thank you to Manish and Josh. If you take just one idea with you, take this. A modern service desk makes 5 moves: resolve, learn, assist, automate, and record. At Rezolve.ai, we were built from the ground up, AI first, to ensure all 5. So again, the recording and the offer details are on their way to your inbox. We'll see you hopefully in a working session. Josh, Manish, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.